A big welcome to you. I'm so excited to be here, and I am so excited to see so many of you showing up here today. That really warms my heart because I think it's a needed thing that we stand together and that we actually meet in a community and in a room where it's also allowed to talk about what's difficult and all the heavy emotions and the fear that we are facing now that the world is pushing us. I think in general that it is important that we likewise invite all the fear and heaviness into our consciousness. Um, the old world or how it has used to be and what we have been educated with is more like back on the horse, dry your eyes and come on, let's go, we got to move forward. And then being like guided into the happy feelings, the comforting feelings, everything that we know and where we feel safe. But if we want to really expand our nervous system, which I think we're invited to do now that the world is having all this chaos, is that we need to be able to dig deeper and be more comfortable in our deep, heavy emotions as well. So if we want more in the top, we got to dig deeper down in order to expand both ends. Today, I want to share my knowledge and my insights about how the 9 different Enneagram types are dealing with this expansion. And I really want you to as well share what you are seeing working. And I know there's so many tools out there. My heart has fallen for the Enneagram. But if you know of another tool that you are really finding useful in these times, or practices that you are using to calm your nervous system, I would love to hear about them in the comment. Let's have a chat. Let's share our insights. And yeah, I hope that you will enjoy this and you will have some recognition and maybe even finding some tools that you can take from this talk and try and see if it works on you according to who you are. Navigating this unreal world, because for me it seems very unreal right now. It seems like the things are just getting worse and worse, and what I used to think was them and over there is now suddenly me, and it's here. So it has a massive effect on my nervous system, and I just feel that my fear is triggered way more often, especially at night when I'm sleeping and my guards are down and my nervous system is trying to recover from all the insights. I can feel that I'm more sensitive and my nervous system in general just are more loaded. So it's very important that we respond to this and actually take the needed actions and practices, embody some things instead of either making ourselves wrong for worrying too much or just like ignoring it, pushing it away, shaming ourselves for having these kind of worries. It's easy to go with, I just have to think positive thoughts, I just have to be present, I just have to like stick to that positivity and this gratefulness, which I also think is true, but it's also a real deal. I don't want to ignore or bypass my system having the need to I mean, my system is asking for more capacity. It's asking for me to deal with this worry because it's a real thing in my system, and it is in the end of the day causing me my presence because it's waking me up at night, or it's making me having worst case scenarios in my head according to my son and my friends and my house and my economy and everything. So let's get into how the Enneagram could can give us some tools and practical advices and guidance of what we can actually do when the fear is active. So a little bit about me. My name is Marie, and I'm Danish, but I live in Spain, and I have worked and taught the Enneagram for more than 10 years. So that's been a long time. I used to do individual normal coaching with people, and now I'm moving into the community part. I'm moving into embodiment, where I'm not so much in the need to teach people exactly the Enneagram anymore, but more kind of hold space for the process, hold the structure so that I'm using my knowledge of the Enneagram to hold space for the people joining the community or cohorts that I'm hosting, um, so they can do their embodiment in their transformation, in their expansion. And I'm using the Enneagram for that. My promise for you today is that, or a promise, like in the end of the day, it all really matters, like how you are present and what you end up doing it. But my promise from my side is that that I want you to understand why navigating this era feels so overwhelming for many. I have already said a lot of things, and I think that most people can resonate with that as well. And then see the fear pattern that quietly shapes how you respond to this pressure. So it's like we all having this fear popping up, and usually when fear is active, our reptile brain takes over and we are most likely just going on autopilot. So the first step is really to understand, like, how is my pattern looking? What is it exactly that I'm doing? And I'm going to go through these things for all 9 types today, so that hopefully you can see, okay, this is my pattern, and that is one of the ways that we could be more aware to stop ourselves in these patterns. When the autopilot goes on, it will be easier to, like, oh, that's my fear pattern, maybe it's not true, and I actually have tools to calm my nervous system when the fear is active. And that is the last thing I have intention to share with you. Leave with a clear inner compass for your leadership when the outside world feels uncertain. So right now, there's a lot of like, when we pushed all of these, I just took 3 areas, like earn money without pushing harder, following strategies, and creating nonstop. So it's like when the pressure comes too much onto us, it's like we are losing our focus and we're losing our confidence, because our stability is being shaken and our focus and our autopilot takes over. So most of us are also affected money wise. It could also be like, for example, now in the Middle East, it's like out of the blue, from day to day, businesses just have to stop, like event businesses and all these things from one day to the other just have to stop. Feel free from pressure. This is especially the one that I'm feeling as well. Show up with confidence and inspire, give, share, and hold space. But how can I do that if I'm so pushed and I'm sleepless at night? So this is definitely something that I really feel pressured with. And then, of course, have more time to spend with the family, friends, and our own self-care. So I think these 3 are the main areas that all of us can feel into, that when the world from outside pressure us, these 3 areas are something that we feel the most is taken away from us, and that we lose connection with the fastest. And why growth feels so hard right now? As one, I already mentioned that war is happening, and this is a big one. This is having an instant effect, and it's giving us this reactive fear where it comes out of the blue. It's not the long-term like pattern fear. It's like reactive fear from one second to the other, getting a message, hearing a loud bang. Like there is um, so many unpredictable and really scary things related to war. Then competition and AI, like the world has so many different layers of change right now. It's like it's in business and it's around us, and it's just, it feels like I'm for sure feeling that I'm just attacked from all kind of areas. Like the school systems are not working, and the AI is taking over, and it's good, but it's also scary, and there is a lot of uncertainties about that as well. inflation as well is like, where are we in 6 months? If ships can't get around with supplies to the world, where would that take our farmers? How our factories keep on going? All these worries are just lining up underneath our skin. Like, no wonder that we are waking up at night when we are trying to recover our system and it's just overloaded. So we need to make a decision. It's like, to have this influence, I believe that it's like super stressful for our system to stay in these things. And that is why I'm really called to just jump on here and try to share at least what I can do. I'm really inviting you to do the same, and even like comment below if you have a website or if you have any kind of tools that you're using. I would love to hear it. It does take a decision. I'm making it as a decision because it's like, it does take some work, and it does require some attention from us to actually do that kind of work. And it's not like, I'm going to give you one tool today, and then every time your fear pops up or you can feel your heart pumping, you're trying that tool, and then, oh, okay, now I'm feeling so good again. It's like, it's an understanding of this pattern. It's like, maybe you already know your pattern. Maybe you can already recognize, oh my God, now I'm going into my loop again, and this is how I'm reacting. And you already have some tools, but it's a decision that we need to remake all the time to stop ourselves in that fear pattern. So let's talk real. What's going on inside of you right now? And I would love to hear, like, write me in the chat what you're feeling right now, and if you're watching this in replay or on a channel afterwards, just write in the comment and let me know, like, what do you experience right now? I would love to hear some real stories, and if you resonate with any of the things that I'm feeling, let's have a chat about it. I think a lot of us are waking up at night and actually feeling these kind of worst case scenario thoughts taking over, and that is possibly the most common one, because when we're sleeping, our system is recovering and our nervous system is recovering. So this is the time where we are trying to let all our thoughts go, and this is a really easy attack for the fear patterns to be activated. So you need a new powerful strategy, and it can only come from you. Let's dig into the Enneagram and see what we can do here. The structure of the Enneagram, maybe you already know the Enneagram, maybe you've never heard about it before. I'm just going to give a really simple explanation here. So the Enneagram is 9 types, as you can see in the picture on the left side. Type 8, 9, and 1 are the gut types or body types. Type 2, 3, and 4 are the heart types, the feeling types, and 5, 6, and 7 are the head or the logical types. So we all have a core type. We build the other types on top of this. So this is something, the Enneagram is an open tool. Everyone can do whatever they want with it or use it as they understand it. And I like to see it as we're having our core type, and then all the other types are on layers on top of our core type. And I like to see it that way because I believe we are everything and we are whole as humans. So we're not only a number, we're not only one type, but we are actually all of them. And according to our parents or caregivers, we have these types closest to our own type, like in the first layers, because these are types that we know extremely well, or we have been asked subconsciously from our parents to become, so that they would understand us and we could connect, or we would sense that if I'm acting like they are seeing the world, then I'm getting loved. So the only type that we cannot change or that cannot get another position in our hierarchy is our core type. That one is something we're born with, and then all the other types can kind of like go around. And the goal with the Enneagram is to be familiar with all of the types. So most likely the types on the very top of the hierarchy are either the ones that you simply don't know, you have never met these people, or your parents had something against these They had stories. They were big triggers for them. So you've been told that they're bad. If you are like this and that, that's bad. And then you have also, like your parents, placed these types on top of the hierarchy. As I said before, like if we want to expand our nervous system, we kind of have to like go in both ends. So let's say that we have 60% in the middle, like we know about 60% of these types well, and we can navigate and use these within our own personality. But if we want to go up and have like access to more personalities, expand our nervous system, we also need to go in the other direction and include some of our fear. So the more of our fear that we can include, and we can stay calm in the storm and actually still respond, overreact, even if our fear is active, then we also have more power to step into our wisdom in the other end. So it's like they're connected, these two. So we start with type 8. I'm just going to give a very quick description of the type as well. So type 8 superpower is they're very strong. Their decisiveness and protection. So they are very hardcore, very brave, very bold as well. And their focus question is therefore, how can I use my strength to create safety for others? So use it as a safety thing. Like type 8 is usually very good in protecting others as well. They are the ones that will be very realistic, but sometimes they can get annoyed of people being too emotional and they would cut them off. So it's like, how can I use that strength and all this action that I feel to actually create safety for others as well and take the leadership instead of just cutting them off or not being able to go into the emotion of the situation. So when fear is activated, and if you're type 8, you can most likely relate to this in the situation that we are in now. Intensity, tension, holding everything in. So it's like a body feeling of just feeling this tension inside, and that you're just holding it in. And there will for sure be a lot of anger inside of you. Your system is containing a lot of energy. So in the moment when your fear is active, if you're type 8, the best thing would be to release the pressure physically. It would be push against a wall or exercise and exhale with sound and stamp. So it's like it has to be very bold, because this is the energy that you are feeling inside. You don't need to hold more, you need to let some of the pressure out. And this is something that if you're type 8, you will definitely feel a relief. And this is a way that you can transform the fear, the urgency of action, that you can transform and calm your nervous system by getting some of this pressure out of your body physically. For type 9, they are here, their superpower is harmony, stability, and perspective. So they're very calm and withdrawn types. And their focus question is, which perspective are people waiting for me to share? So it's like you would most likely see yourself in a situation when you get pressured from outside, withdrawing and kind of like getting paralyzed and, oh my God, I don't know what to do and I don't know what to say. But if you actually ask yourself, I'm pretty sure that you're having some perspective and you have a lot of calm, and the stability energy that you're having is so useful for others. So if you can share that, then this is actually your strength. When your fear is activated, it feels like a numbing, going quiet and low energy. So if you're a type 9, you would most likely want to stay in bed, block everything out. I'm not saying neglecting it, but kind of like just wanting to disappear. Like it will be an overwhelming, paralyzed feeling. Your system goes offline. Yeah, it's like you just switch to offline. And when that fear is active, gently wake up the body. Move slowly but intentionally. So you gotta bring your head and your body together and name what you're actually feeling. Try to actually say it out loud or journal. How are you feeling? What do you see? What is your perspective? What are your worries? What do you see is happening in the world right now? You don't need to disappear. You need to come back into present. Type 1's superpower is integrity, quality, and structure. So that is um, the type that are really good at making structures and optimizing things, very detailed orientated. And the focus question is, when is something good enough to move forward? So that is always like, when is it ever going to be good enough? For type 1, there will always be more that can be optimized, more details that can be incorporated. So that is your focus question. When fear is activated, if you're type 1, you feel a tight body, inner pressure, and you feel the urgency to fix things. So it's like, I gotta fix this. You might see yourself like cleaning more, organizing more, because it's like this internal pressure is asking for the structure. Let your body break the structure. So move in unstructured ways. So you can calm your nervous system by moving in different ways. It could also be dancing and just shake your body and stamp. So again, it's like it's a body feeling. You got to feel this body feeling. Both type 8, 9, and 1 have a lot of body dancing movements because that is what brings them back into the present moment out of the fear. You don't need more control, you need to allow imperfection. So there's also a lot of like acceptance of everything being chaotic. And there's a lot of type 1s right now when things are this, like all the systems are falling apart. That is especially hard for type 1s because this is their superpower. This is what they're here for. Type 2, now we're moving over to the feeling center. Their superpower is devoted attention, connection, and support. So their focus question is, what would I say to the person if I should be honest? So because they have this devoted attention and they have this big need to connect with people, they sometimes don't say what they actually need or what they want to say because they're scared that the person is going to abandon them. And when their fear is active, attention go outwards and they are overthinking. So it's like they just start searching because everything is falling apart and they can't feel people. They start like over with their antennas, overthink what people might need for them because they have the need to go back in connection. Your system is moving away from you. So that might be a feeling that you can recognize if you're type 2. Come back into your body, ask for physical closeness. So this is something like to actually feel the body and for someone else to hold you. Reduce input from others and screens. So this is especially because you need to go back and find yourself. The more you hear from others, the more you allow other people's worries and thoughts and opinions to come in, the more you distance yourself from yourself. And the same with screens because it's full of opinions. You don't need to give more. You need to feel yourself again. So look inwards. You got to connect with yourself inwards. Type 3 is efficiency, drive, and results. So they are the performing type. They're especially good at stages and they're especially good at like connecting groups, achieving extremely high goals. So their focus question is, what would be the truthful decision for me right now? Sometimes they get so driven that they actually forget to enjoy the process, or they forget, or not forget, but they end up choosing to continue or push themselves only to win or only to succeed. But if they're not happy in the process, or if it's not for them, it is better that they are changing direction and choosing something that is heartfelt for them. When their fear is activated, they feel a mental planning, problem solving, and urgency. So they get a lot in their head. And because they're one of the fast types, they have this urgency. It's like, I got to do something. So they sit down and they plan it. They have the project, like a project management kind of brain, and they want to solve it. And they're willing to go like a long way to get that solved. Your system speeds up into doing. And if you interrupt that action with stillness in your body, that could be done with slow movements or journaling. Let your body touch nature. So bring sensing into the scene. It's very important that it's like, it could be like with your hands, with your feet, your whole body. Like it could also be these like ice baths where you actually bring your attention into presence, like you are getting back into presence by feeling your body. And this also, again, it could be the slow movements because your head is just like having this urgency. So to stop that and bring that tension back. You don't need to move forward. You need to allow things to unfold naturally. And that is very fearful for type 3. So we're all going to try our best. These are the advices that are according to our type. But when you hit your type along this presentation, you would definitely feel that, oh yeah, easy said but difficult done. And that's back to the beginning presentation where I'm like, you got to make a decision, because working against our fear or being present in our fear is no joke. But in the other hand, if we don't do this work now, if we don't expand our nervous system, then we are most likely going to be stuck in these kind of feelings, and real stress and anxiety will be a part of our everyday life, and that is worse than to do this hard work now. Type 4 superpower is creativity, depth, and perspective. So their focus question is, what is the next concrete step that brings the idea into reality? So when fear is active for them, they get emotional waves, heaviness, and deep feeling. And it can move into these like depressive days, actually, that they withdraw and they just like disappear. Your system feels stuck in the deep. And to break out from that is break that emotional, like physically. Jump, shake, dance. You gotta bring yourself back to presence out of your fear state by feeling your body. And that is also, you might feel a lot of tense around the chest, around your heart, and a lot of like, could be like tapping it, jumping, like bringing your movement into your body. Let sounds come out as well, side hum, cry, whatever you feel like. It's like, get that expression going. You got to express yourself, and that can bring you back into the present moment. You don't need to get deeper in your story. You need to let the emotion move in your body. Type 5 is the engineer person, or very, we call it the nerdy person. They have insight, analysis, and expertise. So they know a lot about certain things. Their focus question is, when do I withdraw when I should participate? And when their fear is activated, they feel a mental overactivity and withdraw from their body. So they just gets very much in their head, and they try to like think everything through. They try to think their way to understanding the situation. They have the big need of understanding, and your system gets stuck in your head. So it's like, come into physical reality and hold something cold, textures sensually again. If it is like holding something cold or holding something warm and nice, exercise and hug the body. So it's also getting back into the body, moving the body around. You don't need to understand more. You need to feel that you are here. And if you're finding your type, please let me know along the way if you resonate with you or how you are feeling around these types here. If you and there are also it's normal that you will find more than one type. It's very unlikely that you're being presented with the Enneagram and you're like, that's my type. Usually it can take like some time to recognize a type, or find yourself like in 2 3 types that something like this, and then you just go with that. It doesn't matter if it's exactly your type. In the end of the day, we could try all of these tools and see like what actually helped me at night, or when my fear is active. Type 6, their superpower is inclusion, responsibility, and risk awareness. So the focus question is, what should I do if I trusted my intuition? So when fear is activated, they go into like overthinking worst case scenario, and they are scanning for danger. So also they get really stressed out in these situations because this is worst case scenarios. So it's like, what am I going to do with my family? What if I lose my child? And it's like all of these real life scariest moments. And the system is trying to prepare for the worst. So let the mind complete the loop. I think like what is the worst thing for a type 6 to get is like it's not being met in that worst case scenario. Because if you try to, for any of the types, if we're trying to kill our fear, and then we're back with like making ourselves wrong and shaming, and we can't, or I don't think we should try to neglect it and get rid of it. I think we need to let it come to surface. We need to understand it. We need to understand, what am I trying to protect with this fear? Because we're all protecting something within ourselves. We are all protecting this ideal world and the wisdom that we're having. And that's what our fear is trying to protect. It's getting threatened by life and external sources. And now we have a fear and alarm system that goes on off to tell us like something is not right. I don't feel safe here. So let me get us safe through this. So so we can come back to like the real deal. Let the mind complete the loop. Write down the worst case scenario. Name what is real and what is imagined. So it's like, first allow yourself to actually go to worst case scenario, have that, like, go ahead with that dramatic scene. It's like most likely a murderous killing death scene. And then afterwards look at like, okay, so what is realistic and what is this worst case scenario? You don't need to stop thinking, you need to create grounded certainty. So yeah, think ahead, have that plan, but make the plan according to the real world and not all of your worst case scenarios. Type 7 superpower is ideas, energy, and vision. And the focus question is, which project deserves my full attention right now? So when fear is activated, they feel restlessness and escape to dreaming. So type 7 is all about this positivity and happiness and enjoying the moment. And with all the pressure going on outside now, that is a real deal nightmare for everyone, but especially for type 7 having difficulties in actually allowing that reality to be a reality. So your system avoids these heavy feelings and it's difficult to allow it in. Let the mind and body connect. Tapping, if you know that, to transfer worries into strength. So it's like, it's a way to allow some of these worries, allow this reality to meet, and not to neglect and push it away, but actually allow these worries to come out, because your system knows that they can be transferred into strength. And it's easier to name the worries if your system knows that you are allowed to transfer them afterwards. Sit with the discomfort just a little bit longer than you want to. This is where you expand your nervous system. You don't need a way out, you need to create capacity to stay. Which type do you relate the most to? Okay, some of you have already shared with me what you felt, and I'm so happy to hear that it's resonating and that you're actually feeling that these tools are something that you could be using when the fear is active. Yeah, really just accept and respect that it is a lot. It is a lot what is going on right now in all areas. We're being pushed in many areas, and that is a lot for our nervous system to deal with and have capacity for. So the last thing I just want to bring in is like, think back at a time where you faced your fear. I know that I've been through a divorce. I have also had really bad experiences, for example, with traveling alone, where there was many situations where I was super scared and where it could have gone completely wrong. And thank God it didn't, but my fear was definitely active. How did you navigate it? Because I think when we think back at these things, it makes us realize what our pattern is. And this is what we want to recognize. We want to recognize what do I actually do? Where do my fear activate some kind of autopilot that I just go with? So how did you navigate that? And who did you share with? Just pause the video if you're watching it again, or write the questions down and journal on it afterwards. How did you navigate it? And who did you share this with? Did you have anyone around you that you could share this experience with, either in the moment or afterwards? How did people around you react? Did they support you in it? Did they give you space to sit with your fear, or did they kind of made you wrong because they didn't have the same fear? Did they neglect your fear? Oh, come on, that's nothing. We all face that. Or maybe even laughed at you because it was a big deal for you. Maybe they took over the scene and they were then explaining because now they remembered how they were dealing with a situation, and they are then busy sharing their situation with you when you actually wanted to share your experience. What do you need right now? So I also want to put this reflection question into, what kind of people do I need around me right now? Could you ask your friends or your family members to just listen to you without giving feedback? Maybe I think that's something I've used a lot, is like, I just need to share something and I don't need your opinion or your thoughts around it. I just need you to listen to it and just hold me if I want to. Because a lot of the times I think, like, when we are trying to hold space for each other, we end up taking the space, and that is a shame. Because I think the best thing we can do for others when they are facing something is just to listen and ask them what they need. So we are also trying to learn to communicate, what do we need and how do we, like, allow ourselves to take that space. That was all I had for you today, and I would love to hear in the chat, how did you like it? Did anything resonate? How are you feeling? I want to hear your tools, your methods. How are you dealing with anxiety and stress when it pops up, and where you are feeling the world pushing you right now? I really want to open up the space for us to be able to talk about these things and to have availability, to be ourselves. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you so much for listening, and I wish you a really good day. Let me know how any of these tools are working for you in real life.